What do you mean that all-white town failed? How could a self-proclaimed superior race fail at anything? It's so many of them that don't want to be around other races. How do you fail at building something for you by you? If every white racist moved to that town and support that town, y'all should be good. Your own government, your own restaurants, your own little honky tonks. But you failed. Give black people a chance to do something like that. And don't tear it down and watch what happens. Give Hispanic people a chance to build something like that and watch what would happen without tearing it down. Complain, complain, complain.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. It's important to remember that this is an educational video, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the restrictions according to the founder of Return to the Land, which is a self-proclaimed white-only community in the Ozarks of Arkansas. Now, it's important to remember that this is private property, and the founder argues that they are simply trying to choose who they want to be their neighbors in that community. After all, he says, you don't invite everyone into your home, so why should you invite everyone into your town? Because it's the law. Under the Fair Housing Act, it is unlawful to deny someone the ability to purchase property based on their race, ethnicity, religion, and several other protected factors as well. Which means you can't have a white-only town, or a black-only town, or a Jewish-only town, even if it's private property. Which absolutely would make this self-proclaimed town an unlawful community, because its discrimination violates federal law. Not that I would want to live there anyway.
Funniest part about that whites-only town in Arkansas, black folks ain't mad, and you're mad, we not mad. So there's a brand new whites-only town in Arkansas, and the gag is black people don't even care. Now, I've seen the comments. Why aren't black people upset? Why are you mad about this? We gonna clear this up right now. Nobody's upset, poo-poo. See, the one thing black people ain't gonna do is lose sleep over other people that want to create a safe space for themselves. Build your own little town, plant a flag, that's fine. Hang a welcome sign, whatever makes you feel good. Honestly, we gotta be real about something, because I saw the interviews, I saw the clips. This ain't a town of exceptional people. I mean, think about it. If you drop everything to move to this town, you probably already didn't have much going on anyway, right? And that's not shade, that's facts. So the question is again, why should black folks care? This is the part that cracks me up the most. Y'all want us to care. I see the confusion in your eyes. I see it. Y'all like, don't the blacks care? Don't they want to be where we are? Nah. We just want to make sure when we build our communities, we're not cheated out of the things that we're supposed to have. That's all we care about, boo. And it's wild because history has shown as soon as black people do build their own thriving spaces, what happened? Some of your people roll up and burn the whole thing down. But we're supposed to believe now y'all just want to be left alone. Child, I'm going to tell you what really gave it away for me, though. The fact that they ran to the media. That's not privacy, y'all. That's desperation. Numbers must be low. If you got to beg the evening news to let them know that you exist, waitlist my ass. See, if black folks were building their town, the media would be the last people that we want to know about it. We gatekeep. We ain't trying to broadcast. But y'all couldn't wait to hold a press conference. That's not security, that's thirst. So no, we're not upset, we're not jealous, we're not even plotting to crash your party. Because truth be told, we really don't care. And honestly, that's what really bothers y'all.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you are doing great wherever you are watching us from. What happens when a town spends years pushing everybody away and suddenly realizes they can't survive alone anymore? That's exactly what's happening right now in parts of America. A self-proclaimed whites-only community thought they were building the future, but critics say they accidentally exposed why segregation always failed in the end. And trust me, the internet reaction was brutal. People weren't angry. They were laughing because while these communities talk about preserving culture, many of the same town are already struggling with dying business, empty schools, population decline, and young people leaving for good. But here is where this story gets even more crazier. The deeper people look into this settlement, the more disturbing the detail became. from ancestry screening to legal loopholes designed to avoid discrimination law. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand why so many people believe this isn't just about one isolated town. It's about a bigger movement quietly growing across America right now. Anyway guys, let's dive straight into the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. I'll be back with my commentaries.
Black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Yeah, we don't care, dog. We don't give a flying fuck. Like, there's a lot of white audacity this week. Like, you guys are sitting around making up these narratives that we care about whites only towns. Mind you, one of these towns are in the mountains. Black people not going up there. We are not going up there. As a matter of fact, thank you for telling us where it's going to be, because that's where we will not be. Okay, we can duck and dodge that town. We won't even stop in that town for gas. And the crazy thing is, historically, black people have never cared about white people making white only towns. Never. Now, if we're sitting there and you think that we're going to move out of our house or anything like that, then you got another thing coming. But you going off on your own, we've never pillaged white towns before. We've never done what they did to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've never done that. Black people specifically have never done that. We've never gone into white communities and just pillaged. So it's not us that care. It's y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is viral. This is viral because you want some type of feeling from black people. And we're going to say the same thing in every video. We do not care.
There is a whites-only community that's been under development since 2023 in Arkansas's Ozarks. They say that they're not white supremacists, but they are white separationalists, meaning they have a strong exclusion policy. It's called Return to the Land, and it's a private membership organization hosted by this guy, Eric Orwell, who throws down a mean flute performance. They refer to him as their president and or leader, just as a cult would. They operate on 160 acres of land. Right now, they only have 40 residents, and they plan on expanding to all 50 states. Now, there is a rigid criteria for getting in. First, you got to be of European ancestry and hold traditional values. But mostly you can't be Jewish, LGBTQ+, non-white, and mixed race applicants are explicitly barred. Now this definitely goes against Arkansas's Fair Housing Act of 1968, but they don't care about that, because they have big plans to expand their racist cult community all over the United States.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. Return to the land. And it is a town open to white people only. They are millennials and Gen Z, and this is a new update of age-old prejudice.
Control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
But what this sounds like is bringing back segregation. Is that a fair assessment?
It's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down.
But they are being kept out.
You don't let everyone into your home.
You live by yourself and you want to protect your own community, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. It's when you want to do that when it's on other people's land, and when other ethnicities want to do that, eat Black Wall Street, or still go into their place and police it, higher incarceration rate, put things into their community, such as drugs, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be a part of that community, but I still want to know what they're doing, preserve your race. Well, maybe the blacks want to preserve their race. And if you're really about, hey, we want to do our own thing, well, give them all their land back. That goes for indigenous, that goes for African nation, that goes for all these nations. Give them their land back, give them all the interest back, and give them all the resources you've taken and your benefit to make it your country. If you're really about, hey, we just want to be by ourselves and do our own thing, prove it. Because at the moment, you're just talk.
Segregation and racism will never die in the United States. There is a whites-only community. You can only live there if you are white and not gay in the foothills of the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. A couple of you sent me this article asking me if I'd make a video about it. I finally did a little research about it this morning, and here we go. And yes, it's absolutely true, and they're looking to build a second location in Missouri.
No blacks, no Jews, no gays. High up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, building houses and a new type of community. It's called Return to the Land, and it is a town open to white people only.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
And ladies, don't worry. There's stuff for you to do there, too.
And while the men do the physical labor, the women take care of the children who live here full-time. It could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do.
In case you couldn't hear her, she said, they can have their own communities. They already do. And we'll give them credit for one thing. At least they don't hide their faces under the robes. This community was actually established in October of 2023. It's been around for a couple of years. The co-founder, his name is Eric Orwell. He said, and I quote, on a video on their Twitter page, if you want a white nation, build a white community. And ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like paradise. I mean, they have cabins, roads, they have cabins and roads. They have wells where you can get your water. They have a community center and a schoolhouse. They have a schoolhouse. Good luck getting those kids into a college. Hey, don't be late for first period. Racism 101. Don't be late. They actually have 150 acres of land. There's about 40 residents. They have an Amazon wish list if you go to their website right here. And look, folks, I'm not saying go to their website and, make up fake email addresses and bombard them with ridiculous questions. But, if you so choose to do that, I'm not going to complain. But here's their Twitter page right here on the Twitter page. They have a whole resounding 7,000 followers. I'd be ashamed to go on there and make some comments, maybe ask them some racist questions, You can only live there if you have traditional Christian values and are of European ancestry. And as I said, they're looking to open a new community in Missouri. So look out, Missouri, coming to a community near you. It's 2025. I don't understand why this is still happening. This is what this is. This community is essentially this from the 60s, the 50s and 60s. That's what this is. Sounds like the ultimate MAGA paradise. MAGAs, why don't you all move to the Ozarks? You can have the Ozarks. Can we give the Ozarks to MAGA? Every MAGA, just go to the Ozarks. You can have your own politics, your own churches. You can just take over the Ozarks. The rest of us will have the rest of the country. Does that sound good, MAGA? This is what MAGA wants, everybody. Yep. I voted for Trump and I don't want segregation, but you side with the people who do. I said it before and I'll say it again. Not all MAGAs are racists, but all racists tend to be MAGAs.
You ever hear about that town in America being built just for white people? No? This is happening right now, though, in Arkansas. And honestly, we should all be seriously concerned about what this means for our country. Let's break this down. There's a group in Arkansas right now called Return to the Land, building what they call a fortress for the white race. This isn't a joke or a conspiracy theory. It's a real fenced-in community, nearly 160 acres, run by a guy named Eric Orwell, where only people of European ancestry are allowed in. To even get in, you have to go through a vetting process where you literally prove you're white. They ban Latinos, blacks, Muslims, LGBT plus people. They homeschool the kids there, and they're literally growing up thinking segregation is normal. There are around 40 people living there right now, and hundreds more on a waiting list because this group plans to expand across the country. They want to build more towns like this. Here's why. They said it's about wholesomeness, beauty, health, and hope. But let's be honest, when your whole thing is keeping out anyone who doesn't look or pray like you, that's not hope. That's hate. And get this. They're legally structuring the town as a private members association with an LLC, so they think they can get around anti-discrimination laws. They say we've done thousands of dollars of legal research. The Attorney General of Arkansas even had to step in and say racial discrimination has no place in Arkansas or anywhere in a free society. But let's be real, these folks feel empowered right now. And you know why. Because this administration, the current president and his crew, they have normalized this kind of thinking. They talk about being anti-woke and then act surprised when stuff like this pops up. This is what happens when you make everything about fighting woke. You get people so scared of diversity that they go off and build an actual whites-only town. I have to ask, how much do you have to hate Latinos, black people, and anyone who isn't like you, that you'd rather build a walled-off settlement in Arkansas than live in the world with the rest of us? And what about the kids growing up there, learning this is what America's about? What happens when they leave and realize the world is more than just one color and one culture and one religion? Let's stop pretending this is just some fringe thing. These groups are popping up all over the country, and they're using the legal system, social media, and political climate to make segregation feel normal again. And I'm sorry, but that's not just anti-woke. That's anti-American. If you agree that this is not the direction our country should be heading, let me know in the comments. Also, if you disagree, I want to hear why.
So a whites-only town is being built right now in America. By choice, by design, and with plans to expand. It's called Return to the Land. And their goal is to build a network of all-white, Christian-only communities starting in Arkansas and now eyeing Missouri. This group has already bought over 150 acres of land in rural Arkansas. They've bought homes, schools, churches, and they're only accepting members who are white, straight, Christian, and of European descent. Jews, Muslims, Black people, LGBTQ individuals, completely banned from joining. Their founder openly says, you want a white nation? Build a white town. Return to the Land calls itself a private membership association, which they believe allows them to legally discriminate in who gets to live on their land. Now, legal experts, of course, and civil rights groups have said this doesn't protect from their fair housing laws that make this kind of exclusion illegal. They're framing this as freedom and tradition, but in reality, it's a modern version of segregation. The NAACP, Anti-Defamation League, and even the Arkansas Attorney General are pushing back, calling for investigations and warning that this is a blatant racial and religious discrimination. Still, the group is gaining attention and more people are applying to join. Now, this isn't a story from the 1950s. It's happening right now in America, 2025. A self-declared whites-only town is being built in the open with plans to expand across the country. Silence is really not an option here. Racism wrapped in patriotism is still racism. Just as if I would tell Black people making comments about white people in a whole would still be considered racism. And then not even to mention, this is going to be the most unseasoned food of a community that you've ever been to. Good Lord, who would want to go and eat and live there? Not I. Give me my seasonings and my culturals of people.
A group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cesare, and it explicitly bans Jewish people, LGBTQ individuals, and anyone who isn't a white Christian of European descent. In this case, it turns out Jews are not considered white after all. Now, this white-only town is vetting members through interviews and ancestry screening, and only those who can prove European roots are allowed in. Right now, About 40 people live there full time, but hundreds more around the world have already paid for membership. And once accepted, members can buy land, but instead of traditional deeds, they're sold LLC shares tied to private plots. The group claims that this loophole lets them bypass civil rights housing laws. Well, joining us now is Gerard Filiti. He's a senior counsel at the Lawfare Project. So,
okay, and before they go on, so essentially what I got from this was I seen a video about this also on Twitter. I mean, I believe it was one on TikTok as well. They have articles about it too. It's in Arkansas. So the town is not for black people, it's not for Jewish people, just like she said, and it's only for Christian white people, right? So if you're white and you have some black in you, then you are not allowed in the town, okay? And if you ask me if this is okay, if they pay for it and they say this is private property and blah, blah, blah cannot come here, or you can't come here if you don't look like this, then I don't have a problem not going there. Okay, I think it's a problem that we have today where everybody thinks that everything should and is for them, and I firmly believe that that shit is not true at all. Welcome to the DeMarco effect where you get the full effect of me. Okay, that might sound fucked up to some people, like, hey, just because I'm black or Jewish or Asian or whatever, I should be able to enter there and go to their town. But my whole point is, why would you want to go somewhere where somebody tell you you're clearly not welcomed? That's the entitlement of you. Don't get yourself in trouble because you have pride and ego. You have to drop that and don't worry about it, especially if that's not near you. Okay, but we'll continue with the video and what they're saying. But I just firmly don't believe in going somewhere where you're not wanted.
Welcome back, guys. So a group of white separatists decided they want to build their own whites-only communities deep in the Ozarks. And when people online found out, their reaction honestly surprised me. Most black people weren't even angry. A lot of fools were basically like, okay, just let us know where not to stop for gas. That sarcasm tells you everything. Because to most people, this doesn't look powerful. It looks outdated. Now, according to reports, the people behind this community tried creating legal loopholes so they could choose who get to live there. Instead of openly selling homes normally, they allegedly use private membership and LLC shares to avoid discrimination law. And apparently, they weren't even checking ancestries. Imagine living in 2026 and still acting like your neighbor's skin is the biggest issue in your life. Meanwhile, most regular people today are worried about rent, groceries, bills, healthcare, and surviving this economy. That's why a lot of young people look at movements like this and just shake their head. But here's the part nobody can ignore. Places built on exclusion usually struggles in the long run. We have already seen this happen in a lot of small towns across America. Young people moved away, businesses shut down, schools lose students, and suddenly those same towns start begging for workers and new families to move in. That's the irony. You can't push everybody away then out shocked when the town started drying. And honestly, diversity isn't just some political talking point. Different people bring business, jobs, culture, ideas, customers, and growth. That's how community survives. Fear and isolation might sound strong online, but they don't build thriving towns in real life. And that's why so many people online weren't scared by this story. They were looking at it like, haven't we already seen how this ends? At the end of the day, this story isn't just about one small community hidden in the mountain. It's about what happens when fear becomes more important than reality. Because history has already shown us that isolation doesn't build strong community. It builds struggling ones. The towns that survive are usually the ones willing to grow, adapt, and welcome different people, different ideas, and new opportunities. And maybe that's why so many people online reacted with sarcasm instead of fear. Because deep down, they already know this kind of thinking has never really worked long term. But I want to hear from you. Do you think communities like this are just desperate people afraid of change, or do you think this movement isn't becoming more common in America today? Anyway, guys, what do you think about this video? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like and share the video to help the channel out. See you in my next video. For now, peace.